right, I'd like to welcome y'all back to the 90 Proof Lounge, conversations of the 90s, the golden era, 100% hip hop and G-Funk, Nick Cleve and Spliff. And tonight we got some Nashville legends in the house that hit people upside the head in 1995 with a classic album, LOWC, Big Ballin'. Let's give a warm welcome in for Loke. How you guys doing?
Man, it's all good, man. How y'all doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing good, bro. We're happy to have you here, really.
Man, happy to be here.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Right on. So as we always do about this time, we're just going to get right into it.
Go.
So I was saying to Spliff here, like we could literally sit and talk about this album all day with the unique production that you guys had, with the storytelling, the dope deal number crunching. It was just so unique on so many levels. So I'm just going to start it off by saying, I mean, how was the chemistry between all three of you guys when you guys decided to put this album together? Because you can see that there's a lot of thought process behind it. It's not just your ordinary album. There's storytelling with the rehab all the way to what you guys were doing on a daily basis. So, I mean, how was the chemistry between you guys, and how did you guys sit down and kind of figure out how you wanted to do this album? How did that go?
Man, to actually be real, man, it was natural because all three of us have been friends since fifth grade.
Wow.
So we've been friends on the song, say been friends since 10.
Yeah.
That was real.
Yeah.
So, and that was more the stuff that we were living South Nashville, either seeing or living.
That was life. It was life. And it's just like we like he said, Mike and I, we've been going to school together since the second grade. We met up with Charles like in the fifth grade. And I mean, we always like, we were like in advanced classes. So we were always together, like throughout school, always.
Yeah.
So
And you can tell with the chemistry through just listening to the music that the love for each other was definitely there. When you guys were in the studio and it was funny because just before we started doing this episode, Spliff asked me, he goes, "What's your favorite song on this album?" And it was so impossible for me to answer that because there's just so many heaters. It just doesn't stop through the whole album. So I just want to get into a few of the songs. So Living Like an Animal, like just amazing all the way through. Touch on what you were going through. What was going through your mind when you made Living Like an Animal? We'll start there.
Man, and I think I just recently told Kenny, man, your first guest, Spice One, his song "Welcome to the Ghetto," it had a remix, extended version. Ain't no justice, it's just us.
Yeah.
I played that one day about 10 times straight in my car, and I was just feeling that's what's going on in the South. So I just put it in my own words in my Southern version because, we still had cricket police. We had the numbers. Everybody before Powerball and all this, everybody's running numbers, but they were overlooking that and arresting all the drug dealers in the city, giving everybody 30 years. So it was a lot of stuff going on in Nashville, so I heard that, man, that touched me. I didn't even realize Mike actually used the same sample, some of the same samples. I didn't even realize it when he did.
The song is absolute fire, man. And I see after you told me that the Spice One influence there, like, and that was the one that Spliff right off the bat said that he loved. I mean, it was one of your favorite jams on there too, right?
Oh, well, I mean, phonetically and the way that the arrangement's set up, I mean, just listen to the chorus. I mean, it's not like you can't bang your head to that shit. But saying, from the South and saying, you're telling your side of that sort of story going on there, it's kind of lovable for me to hear the crystal clear imagery that you're giving. There's a lot of metaphor when you're writing, especially when you love what you're writing, which you guys were doing. Right. And to come so crystal clear with it, I mean, you really don't have to think too hard about it. You sit there and you go, oh, fuck, okay, I'm following this story. And it happened on almost every track, not just, Living Like an Animal.
And I've told Kenny, that's probably one of my least favorite songs on the album now.
Wow. Really? that being said, what is your, this goes for both of you. What are your two favorite songs on the, off the album?
Yep.
Land
in the Cut.
Oh, mine's
like
Dearly Departed.
And Coming Up Quick too.
Yeah, I like Black in the Hole, man.
Yep.
Black in the Home was dope. I found that was a little bit more different than the rest of the album. You kind of stepped outside of what you were doing, but still kept it low, obviously. But you hear it's a little bit different.
That was real different. Switched the whole beat up like that. You hadn't heard of that back then. We thought it was crazy and said, why not? Sure, yeah, let's do it.
Actually, dealing with the content of the song and the way it kind of broke itself up and the two beats you used, I got a full Redman, Superman love feel from it all. I thought shit was sick, man. As soon as I heard it, I was like, whoa, okay. And it's great because it's the last track on the album. Yeah. You're going right back to number one, man. Let's start this over again.
Well, and then, matter of fact, it's funny because when Mike suggested it, like, man, this is a little different. What did we both say? Fuck it. Let's do it.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. So being from Nashville and, you know, a lot of talent. We just had a previous episode that just came out with Q Bossellini from Tennessee, and he was telling us, we had a huge discussion about the amount of talent that was coming out of Tennessee at that time. So who were the guys that were influencing you before you guys did Big Ballin' or kind of added to what you guys wanted to do with Big Ballin'?
Oh no, it was just, you know, it was at the time when everybody wanted to rap. You know what I mean? It just so happened that we could. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, like I said, we were influenced by. Our thing was we were like, man, I want to be the coldest. You know what I mean, even if I hear this dude say something, I'm like, man, I can't have that doing that. You know, I got to come harder than that. Then I want, you know what I mean. So I don't know. It seemed to me like we didn't say it, but it was like a battle between us. You know, we really didn't pay much attention to nobody else. It was like, I want to be better than you. You know what I mean? I want to be better than you. And I think it pushed both of us to. I sit and listen to it today. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's tight. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, dude, that was 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And you still have people like us reaching out to you and being, because you can't get enough of an album like that. It was at the top of our list for, and as you said, you didn't know how far that music had spread. I mean, we're in Canada, and since I was 14, 15 years old, that shit has been slapping in my trunk all the time. You know what I mean? So,
now for me, man,
sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this for Nashville, all the Nashville rappers. Nashville was in a better position than Atlanta was in 1994. Atlanta had Outkast. Nashville had Pistol signed with Ruthless.
Yep.
Boogie signed with Relativity. LOWC signed with Ichiban. Had Street Flavor Records, Bottom Boys, Capital Punishment. It was a lot of people doing major things at that time. But for some reason, we all knew each other, but it just, nobody came together. So one by one, it started to fall when Nashville was the it city. You think about, you got a guy from Nashville signed with Ruthless.
No doubt.
We're going worldwide with Ichiban. I mean, we were in position. Nashville was actually in position to be the next city before Memphis or Atlanta took off.
It was just still too, you know, what you think of when you think of Nashville at the time for the kind of rap that we were doing, especially, you know. I mean, it's pretty hardcore rap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool Daddy.
Go ahead.
No, I forgot about Cool Daddy Fresh was doing a lot independent at that time.
And he's still going, right?
You say what?
He's still going. He's still doing shows.
Oh, yeah. Fresh still doing his thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy that you bring it up about the, you know, kind of crossing over into each other's music, because that was such a relative thing for almost all hip hop, no matter what you did in North America. If you were from New York, you tried to cross over. If you were from, you know, pretty much anywhere in the South, you sort of tried to cross over a little bit with, you know, Suave Host would rap a lot, or the Dungeon Family and shit like that, if it was just Atlanta or just Houston. But you have what Angela Kelly, I think her name is the only person on your guys' album.
Yeah. She's actually, she's actually my cousin-in-law now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on Big Ballin', yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which an amazing track, kept it so 90s too. We focus on 90 proof music and taking the just such a perfect sample out of Menace to Society. Oh, you a baller, huh? You a baller? Like it was just so good. You started off, and it's like Spliff said here, like every single song you guys did, I don't think there was any wasted breath there. Like every single thing that you said was adding up to something or painting a picture for you in a way, especially when, like I said, it comes to Fresh Out and you kind of continued it on. You hear Back to the Lab, and you spit what you do on there, and then when The Ship Blows Over comes on, he's like, damn, pulled the chandelier down, cook slabs coming down. What's up, Mr. Back to the Lab? You know what I mean? It's all connected in so many ways, and it was just, you guys did a brilliant job of it, man.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate
Thank you. We did put some effort into it. It's like we lived together, man, for like what?
7, 8
2
years.
years. Yeah, I mean,
when that was going on,
we always together.
And, you had people would tell me, why y'all doing this? Why you doing that every weekend? Y'all not gonna make it.
Yeah.
You never gonna,
Yeah, y'all been doing this forever. Y'all
just stuck to it.
Yeah.
So other than Big Ballin', did you guys do any other projects?
We did a song with our good buddies, man. Uno, The Play, and Sporty Long.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. And Mike did some production for Pistol. Did he do Haystack? He did the Uno. He might did back and Uno as well.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And you had mentioned, Charles, when we first started speaking, that there was some personal demons that you guys have been going throughout the music or whatever, and going through the project. I mean, can you kind of clarify that a little bit?
And a lot of stuff we was living.
That's it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it is, man. I got caught up, you know what I mean? Like the album is pretty much, I mean, I ain't gonna say too much because I mean they got cats literally standing behind their bars today. So I mean, I got caught up, and like the old saying, "Don't get high on your own supply." You know what I mean? And
yeah.
That downward spiral, man. When you get on it, man, it's quick, especially when you got a little money. You know what I mean? So hey, it just took me to some places, man. Places that I seen, places that I helped people get to, and never thought I would end up. You know what I mean? But by the grace of God, I'm here today, and I'm
way
back.
better.
I'm back.
Both of you are.
Yeah, exactly. Still together, doing this, man. And
don't get it twisted. This is just me. This is just me.
Yeah, man.
I won't say that because I mean we was all doing different things.
Yeah,
we was into things. Yours went a little different, which made me slow up though.
Yeah,
it changed. It changed everything I was doing. I'm like, damn, that's my boy. Cause hey, it was times we signed with Ichiban and shit had already changed by the time we signed with them. So it changed a lot.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And later on, I got caught up in a conspiracy case on some stuff. So it was like everything we were rapping about was actually coming to life.
Coming to fruition.
It was there.
Damn. Do you want to touch a little bit more on what it was like being signed with Ichiban?
You want the truth?
Yeah, I mean, I looked into it. I looked at all the artists that were signed to it. I, read a little bit up on what was going on kind of behind the scenes with John Abbey and the clusterfuck it turned into. Like,
more saved than I am, so it was bullshit. It was bullshit. I mean, first 2 months we getting the statements. After we recouped all the money in the first 2 months, then the statements started slowing up, coming. I had a buddy come to me saying, man, they selling y'all CD in Japan. I'm like, yeah, right, man. He said, man, saw the Batman building and said, that's Nashville. And bought the CD in Japan before they even told us they were shipping it overseas. Then like 6 months later, we get a statement talking about, oh, we're finna ship it to Australia and Germany and all these places. Well, shit, you already been doing it. Canada, everywhere else, man. I had a guy from New Orleans trying to sell something, knocked on my mom's door, saw a CD. I'm like, oh, we got that in New Orleans. but they were telling us it wasn't selling.
Yeah.
But you know, we didn't do this readily back then in the early
couldn't
90s.
Sound scan that was all it was.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Our stores.
Yeah. And it was like he was saying, there was a lot of artists on there, man, that were doing a lot of things. So just to touch on that a little bit, I mean, Ghetto Mafia, Gangsta Pat, like a lot of these cats were on there. What was your did you have a relationship or kind of run into some of these artists when they were on Ichiban with you?
No.
Man, they put forth no effort to further anybody's career whatsoever. I mean, no effort. You know, I might have been MIA, but I wasn't at MIA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You talking about some more bread, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna answer that call. But yeah.
And man, matter of fact, we met a guy, Freaknik 95. We went to Freaknik, don't tell the kids. But and I don't know who the guy was. Remember, he's in the parking lot. And we told him we signed the Ichiban right before we went in the club. And he said, they gonna fuck y'all.
Yeah.
He said, I went in there, stood on the desk with my pistol to get out of my contract. Never know he was in Atlanta. He's from Atlanta. I do not know who he is today.
But he did. I do remember that.
He had some good music too. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's too bad because I mean, you see so many of these groups from the South that were great, and then you look at the artists that were on Ichiban. That shit could have been great. I mean, Loke with fucking MC Breed, Gangsta Pat, and you know, Ghetto Mafia shows up on your guys' album, and then vice versa. You show up on their albums. I mean, where was that decade?
Yeah, that would have been.
That's too bad.
They didn't have a vision. They were screwing people.
Yeah, that's it. They was in for their quick lick, you know. Hey, you get it, that one time thing, and hey, you come out better getting that long money.
And I don't fault. Well, I look at it, our CD drop and Breed album dropped 1 week apart. Our album was called Big Ballin'. His was called, I think, Big Baller. And they were right there next to each other in the store. Like, yeah, a week apart, but you know, of course, he was a bigger artist, so he got a bigger budget and got pushed more.
And I think that's it was kind of I think that you guys deserved more of what he was artists like that were getting, because I mean, like I said, when you hear the talent that's going through that album and the thought process that put together Big Ballin', I mean, just every part of it, right? So when you even look at the production from, you know, Days, and he was just giving you guys something that you just had never heard. It wasn't similar to anything.
Yeah. But think about it. We've been friends since 10.
Yeah.
So we knew each other. That's how it was so easy to put things together. You knew where he liked it, or where, you know, so and we were together every day. When I say every day,
like every day.
I mean, his house.
We got ladies, well, I had a kid at the time, but I mean, it's like, man, why you keep bringing them to the house? Or why you ain't never at the house by I mean,
good atmosphere to build, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, we go stealing roaches out of.
Oh man!
Oh, we was all doing that.
At Mike's house.
Oh man! Boy, his stepdad man used to keep an ashtray, man, with just
ashtray. This thick full of roaches.
You couldn't even call him. I mean, man, we go like, let's go to practice. Let me go get a start off.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Even to touch a little more on the production from Days, like I said, there's so much amazing production on that. Like, and I like when we do this, you can kind of paint a picture for people who weren't there. I mean, when you guys were in the studio, there had to have been a handful of beats that you guys just stepped back and were like, God damn. So which ones what you can remember, what experience when you have in the studio with him, where you were just like, dude, you just murdered that?
Man, like I said, when I heard that laying in the cut beat, man, that just drove me nuts, man. I mean, that's a club banger. I mean, if you just really played that, man, like they play some songs over and over, and you got that in your head, man, that thing will bang, boy.
You gotta hear the remix. Y'all ever hear the remix?
No, I don't. Yeah, no, I haven't heard it.
I got a 12-inch. It's on 12 inches. The remix to it.
I'll be looking that up for sure.
That was the first one I showed of you guys. I was like, you got to hear this one, and I played it, and he was like, I gotta leave. I gotta hear this whole album. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what it does. That's what I'm saying. That kind of energy that you guys were pumping through the speakers were just, it was crazy, man.
And that was only like a year ago, maybe. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I fucking love this album. I actually played the whole thing all the way through while I'm at work. I just throw the earbuds in and just let this shit play. And I got several tracks I absolutely love. Laying in the Cut's obviously one of them. Days did amazing shit with the choruses too. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the thought process you guys, I think, were coming together with a lot of the bridges rather than choruses. Just talk the motherfucker out. Add to the story. Like,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
I was more Kenny and Mike, man. I was probably I felt like they were deeper into it than had a lot of other stuff I was into at the time too. Women, street, other stuff going on. So, you know, yeah. But I was thinking about what I'm finna do next a lot of times.
He's the whole man.
A lot of the time though, like I used to make music when I was younger, and I find that when you get an element like yourself in there, even if you're not as dedicated, whatever part you're putting in influences the other people that are in that group. And it might be part of the engine that keeps the whole thing going at the pace it does, right? Like, it's all kind of a big deal.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was like we pushed each other more than any other artist because we didn't focus on
trying to
anybody out there. We said, man, this is us. We're gonna ride this thing like this. And I mean, like I said, that was 20 years ago, man. And like I said, 30?
30, yeah. 30. And you look at it,
some of them songs are actually 30 years old now.
When you look,
we actually recorded it down on Music Row, like when they mixed and mastered it.
Yeah,
they did down on Music Row and went to High Dollar Studios, and they wanted to mix it to the same level that Dr. Dre mixed his Chronic album to.
You can hear it. You can hear the crispness in it.
What is that?
Yeah, the crispness. Yeah.
So that's what Mike tried to make sure it was on that level of Dr. Dre's, the Chronic.
Yeah, and so crazy story. When I like I said, I've always been a big fan of the album since, you know, in my teens, and I was with my wife one night. We were watching Dixieland. So Dixieland comes on, and your guys, like, we end up hearing your music in that. I had to rewind that shit like 5 times. I was like, is that Loke? Like, I am I hearing it? So how did that all come about?
Yeah, man. Hank Bedford. He was a director, producer. He wrote the story. It was actually, he used to listen to Loke. So he wrote it semi-based on one of his friends that used to listen to Loke as well. And, you know, his friend was in the streets and ended up getting caught by the police and actually killed himself. But he remembered that's what they used to listen to at that time. So he wanted to take it back to that time when they were actually listening to our music everywhere they went.
Yeah, crazy, man. Crazy.
So we had what, 5 or 6 songs in the whole movie.
Yeah, he went crazy with it, man, and it was fun to see that you guys ended up doing that.
Yeah, he went to the movie premiere, so we saw the premiere, everything.
Sick.
It was cool.
Saw it on the big screen, hear your music come out the big screen. That was,
no doubt.
Yeah, that's respect, man. You gotta like that.
That was over 20 years later when you heard it on the big screen.
Yeah.
That's great.
But that's funny. So that happens 20 years later. This is, 30 years later. And you look at the kind of influence you've had on people. I mean, a guy does a movie about somebody that was influenced by your music, loved your music. You're talking to some cats from another country that loved your shit, still love that shit. That's got to feel pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It does.
It's crazy. Crazy.
I don't think, like now I get to appreciate it more. I might tell my kids about it, but they look at me like, yeah, whatever, you owe. But we still appreciate it. I know.
Yeah, we put some work in on it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can tell. So just to touch a little bit about Nashville. So you know, we like I said, we interviewed another artist, Q Bossellini, who let us know a little bit what it was like in Tennessee as far as artists kind of supporting each other or kind of being in competition with each other. I think that you kind of said that you were, you know, in competition to be the best that you could be, but how was it being from Nashville? Did you guys have a lot of support from your neighborhoods and the artists that were around you at that time?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the whole. I mean, everybody we knew played it, loved it. You got to think it goes back to Lid New Life Records.
Yeah,
one of the best record stores ever. You know, so he supported.
Yeah,
get everything.
He supported all the Nashville rappers. Put your picture up on the wall, your black and white up on the wall sign. So when people come into the store, like, what's new? It's low. This pistol, this fresh. This is new. Even back when they had Blow Pop crew, that's the 80s. That was one of the first, one of the Southside buddies.
Right.
So it was always support from the city because back then the city supported everybody.
Yeah. We were just trying to get on the map, trying to show up.
So when you heard like, oh, that's a Nashville rapper, let me get that. Let me check him out. Yeah, so it was always support for, especially at that time, all the Nashville rappers were doing numbers in the 90s.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing numbers and selling. So yeah.
Sounds like that sort of support was all through Nashville. I mean, you look at a lot of the Memphis cats that were coming out with music and they were doing the mixtape thing and getting the opportunity to consign with a lot of these stores and just sell their mixtapes that they made. Like, that's as good as it gets if you're a starving artist, you know, like you want to make it as an artist. Having that opportunity is amazing because there's so much limelight on the East Coast and the West Coast and how they made it happen. When I started realizing the core system that was going on in the South, it was amazing to see how much love there really was coming out of these communities for things just like putting your face on the wall and going, these guys are trying to make it, show them love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, for me, it was, I guess I had a Pimp C feel. I was like South versus everybody.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't get love in the Midwest, the East Coast. So, you know, we looked up to Luke.
Miami. Yeah.
Looked up to T. Draper when they started Suave House.
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff, because it was the South, we couldn't get played. You know, so if you try to take that local album to New York back then, they would threw the shit out the car. They would throw it out the window. So and that's the way we felt about a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
We throw it out the window. I wouldn't listen to that.
No hip hop.
Yeah. This is what we live in.
South,
this is what we live in, and this is what we playing.
That's it. True life.
Yeah.
I got, you know, but we got a lot of them.
Yeah.
Even I was in college, and I had a buddy, Ajale. He wanted to hook me up with his cousin from the Midwest, and I was like, "Fuck that! I'm the South. We don't play that Midwest shit." And he kept telling me about his cousin, like, "Man, y'all should get together and do some music." I said, "Man, who's your cousin, man?" This was before he was famous. Common Sense.
Oh, damn.
All right, man. We you know, I think about it, but I'm still on my Southern stuff. Never hooked up with him. And now who is Common? Now he's no international star, man.
Yeah.
We blew. Met 8-Ball MJG. We could have did a song with them.
Yeah.
I remember that night, 8-Ball, I know he probably don't. He's been all around the world now. But he kept like, "See, what's up, man?" We met him in New Life. And he was like, "See, what's up for the night? See, what's up for the night?" But I was on my Homac shit in my own, you know. I was like, "Man, I ain't doing nothing, man," but I already had some playing. And shit, we could have probably went to the studio and did a song that night.
Could have banged one out right there. We had rhymes like that.
Yeah. And they were dope, you know, and that was the same time.
Absolutely. That would have been amazing. I would have loved to see Loke hook up with 8-Ball and MJG on a track. They were huge. We just talked about them. I mean, a group that big, you know, I actually just heard a saying that like 3-6 Mafia was Tennessee's Wu-Tang. Did they have that kind of effect on you guys as well? Like before you guys put out Big Ballin'? I mean, were they like an influence to you at all?
I think they were after us,
Yeah, I
man.
think
They were after us.
I think it
Yeah,
came
they
out.
were. They were.
Yeah, they did come after.
I mean, they
Yeah.
were around Juicy J and Paul were still doing the thing, but it was like it was such underground kind of mixtape shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys dropped before that.
Well, you know, then it was Project Pat from Memphis.
Yeah, Project.
Project
No, Gangsta Pat.
was the
Gangsta Pat was
Gangsta Pat.
first.
Yeah, Project Pat
Gangsta Pat was first.
was the 3-6.
But I'm
right?
the Gangsta.
Pat.
But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the Gangsta.
Yeah,
Gangsta
Gangsta
Pat
Pat.
first. But then now that you bring it up, I do remember, I think the first time I heard 3-6 was like 96, 97. One of them late night tip albums or something like that, man. I was probably high and that shit was banging though. You know? I couldn't help but support it. It was dope. It was different, but it was Tennessee. It was Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really putting it on.
I found you guys had a bit of an East Coast influence in the way you guys ended up presenting a lot of your raps and shit like that. Did you find that there was East Coast rappers that you did kind of resonate with?
Oh, well, you know, back then, like, and you could probably name the rappers back then, you know what I mean? You could probably name them all. It wasn't, you know, but right, everybody, you know, Rakim, Big Daddy K, you know, you know, Rakim was that's my favorite rapper. You know, some people even say it to this day. Hey, your dude was good, man, but you ain't hear but like 12 songs from dude. You know what I mean? Somebody got like 200 songs, you know what I mean? But yeah, like Rakim, my favorite rapper, you know what I mean? So he always influenced me, you know what I mean? Like, man, twist that stuff up, man. Make that stuff tricky as you can, man. You know, say as many as you can in this, whatever, however, just do you, you know? But keep it laid back and smooth, you know? So, yeah, I say I tried to mimic Rakim a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's tight.
So,
and as you said, laid back and smooth. That's the Southern shit, right? Like, it's very laid back and smooth with a lot of what the South was. So if you take an influence like Rakim and you turn it into a more Southern thing, you get yourself. And fucking right. It's like, I just for me, the storytelling is amazing. I was expecting maybe like Slick Rick or somebody, but Rakim, I mean, that's on point right there. That tells a whole story, right?
It was also crazy too because I've seen people try to do it. I know Foxy Brown tried it a couple of times, but you took that approach with the number crunching, doing the mathematics of the lifestyle that you were living, which you had never heard before, or at least not to that extent. It was phenomenal the way that you were able to literally put like a math quiz for people to listen to and still have it all make sense and still be smooth. I was like, this guy's just on another level, man, with this shit.
People don't think the numbers add up either.
We talked about it. We
Did
talked
you?
about it. I said, I wonder if those numbers add up. So I'm glad you clarified it for me, bro.
They do.
Man, one of the best lyrics, our favorite lines of that whole album, Kenny had, and it brings me to think about the whole city of Nashville when he said, "Been living middle class since my city met crack. When crack came to Nashville, the whole city changed. So everybody's lifestyle changed. You know, the cars changed, the money got bigger, everything changed." And that was like, just hit me one day like, damn, that is so true.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that I really loved about this album and the approach that you guys took was you hear a lot of albums in the 90s and a lot of people that were listening to it, people from Canada, people that didn't live in those type of neighborhoods, they didn't really know what was going on. And you kind of painted the picture for them. I mean, even so one of the lines here, I forget, you were like, I'll even commit a 187 if it's worth my while. It wasn't like you had guys that were coming out like ready, guns blazing, but you guys were kind of explaining how that works, you know what I mean? And how you're the approach that you guys were taking. So you really took like a really educated approach to all of the tracks and it really sent the message, right?
It really wasn't just, I'm not gonna say anybody lyrics, but it wasn't anything just stupid. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this. It was always a message behind it.
Always.
It was either a reason or an outcome to it.
Always. Mm-hmm. Always. And like I said, we pride ourselves on, you know, going to school and being educated and being knowledgeable. So yeah, we kind of knew how to fit puzzles together. We might have put out a thesaurus or something if we had to. I mean, we just, our vocabulary might have been, whatever, just a little, above average or whatnot. But, it is what it is. But that came from schooling, and like I said, in the jail.
For me, it's all the difference. That's all the difference. You can hear a plethora of dudes on the West Coast will tell you the same story, and they don't go past a specific vocabulary where you clearly went that distance. You didn't use the same words twice. You didn't, cut and paste a lot of the shit you were trying to say. It was story after story after story, and all of them were unique. Everything was said in a unique way, and it didn't get handcuffed by a limited language. You used everything you could, and as you said, you pick up a thesaurus, you're like, fuck, I can't do this again. I got to do something different with this, and it opens up doors where you're like, okay, this word means this, and these other words rhyme with this shit. And now you're advancing your skills. You're becoming that much better. And I mean, I didn't miss it. As I said, as soon as I heard the album, the lyrics just stuck with me, and the beats are amazing. But Spice One kind of hit us with some knowledge where he was like, it's either the beats or the lyrics, and either the beat overshadows the lyrics or the lyrics overshadows the beat. And he's like, you get this perfect harmony at certain points that he was going for, where both played the same sort of level. And that's exactly what I get from your guys' shit.
Man, thanks, man. Thanks, man. That's what we were shooting for too, man. I mean, thanks, man. I mean,
I get the pleasure of hearing it. I mean, it's fantastic. So it's one of those things where it never really stops giving that feeling that you guys, that love you guys put into that. Yeah, it's about, maybe negative content, but the whole thing has a positive feel to it. And I can't even skip a track. Like, shit is amazing.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm just glad we got you guys on the show so we could chat with him. It's fucking dope.
I mean, we couldn't get enough of it. I mean, like when you hear that album, that's what we do, right? Like we pick the best albums that we can find, and the most unique ones we can find. And when you hear an album like Big Ballin', you get everything. It's the whole deal. So, and we couldn't listen to, we can't, even listening to it, we were like, we gotta talk to these guys, because you want to have a conversation with these artists. I mean, I can, tell you right now, there's probably fans out there that were like, we can't get enough of Big Ballin', man.
Man, I appreciate it, man, because we had a discussion like, man, how the hell did they find us?
Yeah.
We went looking.
Like, man, us? And then especially like they said, yeah, Spice One's gonna be there. Like,
Spice was the first one. Yeah.
That was Spice One. What's going on? Yeah.
and it was crazy, because that was one of the reasons that we liked bringing. I mean, Spice One had a huge, worldwide fame, and you guys, from what you were saying, it was a little bit more of a struggle to get that, as well as a lot of artists. But the thing with me, why I love doing 90 proof, is you guys are on that same level to me. You know what I mean? There's no difference there. That comes to the reason that your album wasn't pumping out of stores like as much as Spice One's was really not what you guys were doing. It was the people that were attached. It was Ichiban. It was the things that other people were doing. But you guys are the talent on this album is definitely of an upper echelon level, man.
Thanks, bro.
What we always talk about is it's probably a blessing that we didn't reach that level of fame, because we'll probably both be dead.
I'd be dead. No doubt. Yeah. I'd be dead. I don't regret any of it. I mean,
learn from it, grow from it.
I know for a fact I'd be dead. If I had been successful, man, it would have been a short career. Very short.
Yeah, knowing yourself, right?
I already know how I would hard. Yeah, and he went hard in his way, and I was going hard in my way. It would have been too bad.
Yeah, it would have been two dead rappers.
Yeah, it's amazing what millions of dollars will do to people, right?
Yeah, money will kill. Money will make a monster out of a nice person.
So one thing I was really, really curious about, which Spliff had asked, is you guys did Big Ballin'. You're getting the feedback that we're giving you. You're getting the feedback that you got from other people. Why no second project? Even if there was a problem with Ichiban, what I mean with that, like I said, the level that it was at, you guys must have had an urge to want to do another album or another project.
Vices.
That's it, man. You know, like I said, man, when I got deep into my stuff, man, I mean, man, I was smoked out, man, probably like 15 years, man. I still got plenty of rhymes, you know what I mean? We could probably go in the room right now and put a song together. I'm sure he got rhymes. But I mean, it's just, you know, just the drugs, man, they killed my zeal, you know what I mean? It's like, and that spiral, like so I said, that spiral, man, you get to going down there, it gets deeper and deeper, colder and colder, darker and darker, man. And until you got, like his song said, no, that song ain't even on the album. He was so far down, he looked up and saw hell.
That was, that's an old song before the album.
Yeah, that's about where I was at, you know? And hey, but when you look up, 15, 16 years gone. So
yeah,
that's a whole nother kind of rap. You know, I still got raps. I can rap like these young cats probably, you know what I mean? But
I'd love to hear some Loke shit.
You probably wouldn't want mine.
Man, for me, it was opportunities to do other stuff. And I even started a label later on, late in the 90s. But it's like, to me, A-Ball and MJG's song, how can any group that's meant to be together be apart? So I didn't have that feeling no more because my brother was with me. So it was a whole different vibe, you know. I had a guy on my buddy's hut, like, man, gave me a track. Like, man, I want to hear you, man. I want to hear some of that Loke shit. I couldn't write to it. I gave it to my little cousins and they wrote to it. Then I started a label with them. But it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, different focus, right?
That family camaraderie is very key when it comes to the project. And as I said again, you can tell. You listen to that music that you guys did with Big Ball, and you can tell that the love is just really there for each other. And it was when you have that kind of love, the confidence is high, the energy is high, and you can just hear it through the whole album.
Oh yeah,
thank you, bro.
You guys still know Mike?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nice. Does he still make beats?
Yeah, Mike. We all, man. We like real family dudes now, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, I had to drive like 3 cities to get to Charles' house, you know. But then,
damn. All right. Well, thanks for putting the effort in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds bad, but it was just about an hour and 20 or 30 minutes. But, you know, man, I mean, go do your job, come home, be with your family. You know what I mean? It's like nothing's more important. Nothing's even worth more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes sense too. When you hear, like I said, you hear Big Ball and you hear the effort and the you know, the strategy that was kind of put into that. And then, you know, it makes sense that you guys, you know, look like you're living a comfortable lifestyle. Beautiful. I've seen Charles, you know, you got a beautiful family or whatever. So it all makes sense. I mean, you guys put the work in there, you know, made a classic album and went on to have, you know, great families and comfortable lives, man. So good for you guys for doing that.
But I tell you what, don't get it misconstrued. None of this came from an album.
we ain't fooled.
You saw some money from Lowe
last year.
How much was it?
What was it? What did he give? $1,500.
It's about, what was it? About $700.
We had to split it. It might have been two. Might have been two. We split it 3 ways.
It was 2,000. We split it 3 ways.
For a guy who wanted to distribute it overseas.
That was the first penny from that album.
Yeah,
and that was that. Yes, you know that was the most we got off of that album.
Yeah.
So, the lifestyles we're living now, this album did not contribute anything to it. Hard work, effort, due diligence to it, and the steadfastness. That's what contributed to the lifestyles we live today.
Oh, exactly. But like I said, you hear the effort that was put into the album, and obviously that just transitioned into your guys' lifestyle aside from music, which was good to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a blessing.
Yeah. Does Mike still make beats?
No.
Too bad.
He probably has the 808 still, the SP1200.
SP12.
SP12, 1200, something like that. I think he's still all that equipment, but he may pull it out one day to show his kids how to do it. Maybe
I talked to him and said, I told him, said, Dad, I want to rap.
Whoa, he did.
Yeah. So he got him listening to Christian rap.
Fair enough.
So I'm just curious, because as you said, you guys lived together. It was a process making this album together. There has to be, for each of you, a memorable moment, one of the most memorable moments that you had, whether it was making a song or a beat that you heard or an experience that you guys all experienced together or anything like that. Is there anything that really just stuck with you until now?
I got some. We were doing a show one time. What was it? We opened up for MC8.
Yeah, War Memorial.
At the War Memorial, yeah, and we, just like everybody else, we keep a gang, we keep a clique, you know what I mean. But a lot of them happen to be my cousins, you know what I mean. And my cousin, this one guy, we call him Big Money, and he get, we get a little drunk, we get a little high, Big Money get a little too drunk, you know what I mean. And so we was, we did our shit, you know what I mean. And then MC8 came out, got the rocking his set, you know what I mean? And then he called everybody from the back out, like, y'all come on out, So we was like, man, come on, y'all come out on stage with us and stuff. And so we get out on stage, and then MC8 starts singing his up childhood is why the way I am. And then Big Money goes, oh, hell no, that's bullshit. This motherfucker Biden. He's singing, dude. He didn't realize that he was 8.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, that tripped me out. There's a lot of moments like that with Big Money. Though.
Oh, wow, that's good. Charles, how about you, man? You got any memorable moments like that?
Man, I don't know if I can tell them.
Ones that you can share.
I mean, just shoot, some of the shows we did. Man, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what was cool to me. It wasn't that extravagant, man, but just being on that little promo run, we went up to Louisville, signing autographs in the mall.
Yeah.
People lined up to get an autograph in the mall. We signing posters and pictures and shit. With no video, no radio play,
no nothing.
But people stood there and waited for our autograph, man. Like, y'all on BET? Nope. Hey, go buy the album.
And they supported it. Matter of fact, we ended up doing a show up there after that, didn't we?
Yeah. We never had that pink Cadillac in front of the club, whatever club that was. Yeah. So
that's the real shit.
That is.
There's the moments where you go, fuck, this is what it's like to be big. Even if it's for a moment, right?
It was some moments where
it got to a point. Yeah, it got to a point. I mean, he might have been like local celebrities, you know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, I just got to a point where I just didn't like people always approaching me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, the attention or whatever. I mean, I can only imagine if we would have got famous. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
Just the little local famous stuff is like nerve-wracking.
You at 10:30 at night at the gas station. Somebody walk up to you. Now you're like, oh, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, you clutching
man, you low, man. Like, oh yeah, what's up, man? And it's funny. That's how me and Rollo B. I hung out with Rollo B. before he died. That was a good dude, man. Yeah. I don't know if y'all ever heard his music. He's a good artist.
Check him out.
Yeah.
Rollo B. We will for sure.
Shit, we was at the game room, Harden Place one night. He came up like, man. Yeah, you remember me? I opened up, before y'all came on one night at the club. He said, yeah, man, me and a couple of my partners said, let's go to my house and shoot dice. I'm like, okay, let's go, bet. And I'm not even thinking. I'm like, I get there. Then I'm like, man, what the hell am I doing? I'm finna get robbed, So my boy's shooting dice. I didn't even shoot. I just stood at the door like, somebody finna bust in this damn door and rob me, right? but nothing happened. Rollo was a cool dude, man. That was a good dude. Man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Logue, man, it has been such a pleasure having you guys on here and touching on all this stuff. And it was just amazing, man, to go through the project that we love and a lot of the world loves, and we would love to have you on again to discuss more.
Hey, man, anytime.
Anytime, brother. Man, appreciate you guys, man.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate
Anytime.
Good luck, fellas.
Yeah, man. You guys stay well, and you know, blessings to your family and you guys, and we'll be in touch. We would love to have you on again.
All right, no problem. Appreciate it.
90 proof, baby. We out, man. You guys
Peace.
have a good one.
All right.
All right.